Hustle culture tells us that if we take time to be still, to reflect, to not do active things, then that is laziness. That you're not being all you can be. You're not doing all you can do.
Sure.
And that, I think, is completely antithetical to God's sort of be still and know that I am God. Like that, it makes stillness and reflection an enemy of achievement and fulfillment.
Right.
So one of the things I think that hustle culture tempts us to do then is to do all the things we do, to keep ourselves in the know. We have our work, and now we're going to also figure out, spend some time, getting entertained, being up with the local culture, being able to speak about XYZ, know
learn a
what's
new
happening in the
language on
world,
the side,
learn a new
and-
language on the side. It never lets us off.
Mm-hmm.
So hustle culture can be a really, it's a real temptation. Like, ask yourself what you're giving up when it comes to your spiritual walk with God and your engagement with your family and community. While you are so busy improving yourself in 50 different ways. And you'll probably begin to recognize the spaces where sloth is a temptation.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I feel like hustle culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like hustle culture is really toxic because it really glorifies just a really poor imbalance, like you'll be like working around the clock on something. It'll be like, wow, they're such a go-getter, they're after their goals and everything. Or you'll pull all-nighters and it'll be seen as like, wow, so dedicated, so motivated, but that's like really bad for you, and like your brain needs to rest. And like, I don't know, I just know those some people will be like, oh my gosh, I only got 3 hours of sleep, and they'll go like comparing themselves to other people who had like maybe 1 hour of sleep. And it's like, you can't consistently function this way. So in a way, you're kind of promoting laziness while you're performing a lot, but up until like what point?
Right.
So then
there's going to be a crash.
Yeah, you crash, and then you're gonna be like lazy, quote unquote, when really you just need rest. And then you conflate like laziness for sloth, and then you feel guilty because you're sitting on top of feeling awful. So yeah, that's what I think.
What I'm hearing from both of you is that hyperculture is bad, the sloth is bad, and the best way is to find the balance in the middle, right?
I would say the sloth is somewhere underlying that hyperculture very often.
Yeah.
I mean, not always, right?
Sure.
I do want to distinguish between a genuine sense that you want to be engaged and excellent at what you work, you find value in it. That's different from the sort of always do something,
It's
be
always-
always
it's-
on culture, which is somewhat different.
Yeah, it's the motivation.
It's the
behind
motivation,
it,
yeah,
right?
it's always that
It always
underlying.
goes back to like the
Yeah.
things we can't quite see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I'm hearing is that that there's a good part to the bad thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can, the desire to be productive and to make a difference and to advance your work, whatever sector you're in, that's a positive thing. But I mean, if you go into overdrive and you're a workaholic and you're never home and you're proud that you've only slept 1 hour a night this past week, so you got more work done, that's the negative part of it, right?
Sure.
But there is a core to that again, I think is part of our calling, is part of what God wants us to do is to provide for our family and to engage in the world and to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
And that's the positive part of work, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Actually, that's commanded.
Right. Yeah.
If you're not doing that, there's a problem. It's not.
and then the sloth part, again, we talked about, taking a vacation, taking a break, taking a sabbatical, having a lazy day, right? Aren't necessarily bad things, but if that becomes your focus.
No, those are healthy when they come after a good sense of work.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is the
that's what I'm
balance you
saying.
want.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.